becomes fake. Well, who did he see when he heard who was there? Now it seems that he should.
All right, everybody, welcome out to the Log Room Guys Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, January the 30th, 2024. Jersey Johnny coming at you. With me, as always, is Dave, Beer Samurai, looking at a map.
Yeah, I don't think I have the right map. Hold on. I'll find another one. Oh, no, never mind. We're doing the show. Later.
What are you trying to do with that map, sir?
I'm trying to plan. My daughter's coming up and taking her to the Adirondacks. I'm trying to plan the vacation, but I got
trying to plan a vacation. Why are you trying to plan a vacation today?
Well, it is National Plan Your Vacation Day.
Happy National Plan for Your Vacation Day. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, this is the one I wanted. Okay.
There you go. All
I'll
right.
keep that over there.
Keep it over there and do it after the show.
Yeah, that's the High Peaks region. We'll keep that over there.
Yeah, we'll talk about the breweries in the
Hey,
Adirondacks.
John.
There you go. How are you, sir?
Is it time for us to drink on a Tuesday?
It's time for us to drink on a Tuesday.
Awesome.
Technically, it's not really time for us to drink on a Tuesday. Right now, at the beginning of the show, it's time for us to eat on a Tuesday.
You're going to eat? Oh, no, I have nothing to eat.
You don't eat?
I always eat at the beginning.
I mean,
of the show. I don't
it
have anything
is
to
National Croissant Day or Croissant Day.
eat. Croissant.
Well, I'll do it for you. I have a croissant right here.
Oh, look at John's taking my shtick.
Mm-hmm. I'll cover you for this week.
Yeah, you got me this week.
There you go.
I'll tell some dad jokes then.
Mm-hmm. I got a couple of those too. So.
Oh, okay, great. We'll wait. We'll hold them.
There you go.
Hold them. We'll go.
Anyway,
It's also, don't forget, it's also exercise your brain today.
happy Exercise Your Brain Day.
Just when it's done at the gym, make sure to put it back in.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, I mean, it depends. Some people don't even take theirs to the gym. I mean, to be honest with you.
No, I said okay.
You get it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
They're ready.
All right. And there's another day, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that a little later.
At the end of
we
the
usually
show.
do these all at the beginning of the show. We're going to do this the last one at the end of the show.
It's a good croissant. I'm going to keep eating it.
Is a ShopRite one? I like theirs.
Yes. Costco, actually.
Oh yeah, they do good ones too.
They're really good.
For the mass-produced ones.
Right, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, bakeries do them the best, but for the ones you can get a whole big container tray of like 12 of them for $5.99.
The BJ's are good too.
BJ's good too, yeah.
And BJ's Warehouse makes pretty good croissants as well.
This is true. I see what you did there. Yeah. That's not really a dad joke, really. I mean,
no, well,
it's a wink, wink dad
yeah.
joke, you know.
But no, I
Anyway.
usually every morning I get a croissant. When I'm in the city working, I get my coffee and a croissant down at Italy, and they're a bit different.
A little bit.
They're called cornetto.
Cornettos. Mm-hmm.
So
there you go. All right, cool. All right.
So now we've schooled everybody on croissants.
Now that we've schooled everybody on croissants, I'm thirsty. You thirsty?
Yeah, I'm thirsty. Let's bring the guest
And
on.
I'm in the mood to talk too. So let's bring our guest on. Please welcome to the show today.
You're a sales guy. You better be in the mood to talk. It's your job.
It's very true. Yeah, but I talk all day though. So usually when I talk all day, I'm kind of like over talking. I just want to sit.
Yes, you do a lot
on
of
a Tuesday. I see what you did there.
There's a dad joke.
Anyway, please welcome to the show, Mr. David Jimenez from Taste Masters podcast in beautiful Utah.
What's up,
Beautiful.
boys?
Beautiful Utah.
Beautiful Utah.
Beautiful Utah. How are you, sir?
Yeah, it's like great. Utah.
Yeah, there we
Utah.
go.
You know what I'm saying?
Go. Now we talked a little bit beforehand that it's really kind of funny that I put this shirt on earlier today. Dave, you should tell us why. It's really funny. And I put this shirt on before I knew the piece of news that David is
Hilarious. Yeah, you said
Drop
that.
on us.
You claimed that you put a shirt on.
I did.
Right.
He did. He put it on prior to finding out what you're about to tell us.
I can bring.
Can we open the beer first?
We should open a beer.
Yeah,
Let's open it.
Let's
Let's open
open
a
some
beer.
beer.
David, what are you having first?
So it's kind of going to break the ice, but I'm having this one from it's a Pink Boots chapter in Utah. I did one with Kiitos Brewing Company.
Very nice.
Oh, cool.
So it's really cool because the Pink Boots chapter in Utah is badass. All the individuals in the chapter, everyone gets together. And this is one of my favorite times of the year because it's not just about the hops; it's about the collaboration, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And, I'm drinking it. I didn't actually brew this beer. This was brewed in April, and it's actually holding up pretty nice. Surprising.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
We've had a few members of the Pink Boot Society on the show. Well, we
Yeah.
had the president of the Texas chapter, right, John?
David's Debbie Serta. Yeah,
Debbie
was on.
Serta.
I like that.
Um,
Yeah, so I guess I'm drinking that because what Dave was saying is last time you guys talked to me, I was working over at Strap Tank Brewery. So there's only one brewery in Utah County, and they have two locations, one in Springville, one in Lehigh. And in August in 2023, I had the opportunity to enhance my brewing career, and I'm now the head brewer of Kiitos.
That is, congratulations, sir. That is awesome. It's a
Yeah,
beautiful
so
shirt,
pretty
too.
cool. Yeah,
So, so how has your pinball game been elevated since you've started there?
holy shit! I didn't realize there's an art to pinball. Like they click and clack, and they use their hips to tilt it. Like
It's a there. There was when we were there, they were actually having a contest going,
Mm-hmm.
and we left before the contest started, but they came into practice.
Yeah,
that's they are intense.
Oh yeah, every Tuesday night is a tournament night. So they just had state championships a couple weeks ago. But 2 months ago was the first time I ever got bullied in pinball or at a brewery ever.
You got bullied?
Oh yeah, I got bullied. So I'm going there. There's a group that's called the Craft Pub Runners in Utah, where there's a chapter of crazy individuals where they meet at a bar, a pub, a brewery, and they go run X amount of like a mile or a 5K, and they meet back to the brewery or pub, have a pint, and hang out. So it's free advertising, free people come and hang out. So it was our last one. They all knew I was at Kiitos. So they hit me up like, hey, David, can we do the last one, the last huzzah at Kiitos? I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go. So I felt obligated. I'm not a runner, exercise. So I saying no, thank you. But I'm like, yeah, I will. So I got a pint. There's a brewery. It's called Fisher by Kiitos.
Yeah.
Fisher's really well known. So I go, what do you call it? It's a half mile to Fisher, half a beer, half mile back to Kiitos, 1 mile. So I had a celebratory beer at Kiitos. Like, fuck yeah, let's go. So, again, I'm 2 beers deep now. I'm nothing buzzed. I just worked it out. I go to the pinball machines. There's a James Bond machine, and I'm a huge James Bond nerd. Sit there. I'm clicking and clacking, and I get tapped on the shoulder. I'm like, in the middle of a game, this guy with his crew of 2, right, holds up a stack of quarters and goes, hey, your quality machine's over there.
Oh.
So I just free quarters, walked away. And then the whole crew saw that and they go, do they know who they're talking to? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, this guy makes the beer. And I was like walking away. I scored 75 cents by putting a quarter in. So like I win.
Hey, you win.
You won.
But hey, your quality of machine's over there. I should have been like, take that beer and be like, hey, your quality of beer is over fucking there.
Go 10-2 South. Never mind. We're not going to.
Never mind.
I got bullied in pinball. There you go.
That's great.
I never knew they were pinball. No, actually, I've seen it when I was like 5, and my brother.
Oh yeah, I got bullied by my cousin at pinball. When I was 4 or 5 years old. Yeah, but
Yeah, I'm 33 years old and still getting bullied in pinball.
Well, I didn't get bullied. It was my older brother. You're older than me. He got bullied. Some kid who was a little older than him wanted his pinball machine, and started in on him. And I was a little large for my size at my age, and so I had to stick up for my older brother. And I got into a lot of trouble. But
you got into a lot of trouble.
I don't like bullies.
I don't like bullies either.
I don't react well around bullies.
Hey, but pinball bullies, they'll pay you.
That's a neat way to bully.
That's not. I mean, it's not a bad thing, right?
I made money by getting bullied, so I'm like, fuck it. And I had a beer.
And it reminds me of a story once in Wrigley Field, out in the grandstand, in the bleacher seats. A guy is sitting there, and he's got a Chicago Whitecaps hat on in Wrigley Field.
Chicago
Cubs. The Cubs. The Chicago Cubs hate the White Sox.
White Sox. Okay. You said
What
White
did I
Caps.
say?
White Caps.
White Sox hat.
White Caps. Chicago White Caps.
White Sox
They
hat.
hate white cops.
White Caps. Chicago White Caps.
In Chicago, yeah, that makes sense. What they do is the guy behind him grabs his hat, pulls it off his head. They hand it around the bleachers. Everybody in the bleachers, each put $1 in it. God, if I've had like one sip of beer, I can't speak. They each put $1 in it, it gets back to the guy who took the hat. He takes all the money of the hat, gives it to the guy whose hat he stole. They tear the hat to shreds and then throw it on the field. So at least they compensated.
I'm okay with that. It's like,
I'm okay with that.
like proper hazing. I mean, before 2020, because 2020 it's different now. After that, you have to pay to haze. So.
You got to pay to haze.
Exactly.
As long as, and I'm okay with it too, as long as that wasn't like a signed hat or something. Or,
Right.
You know,
True.
Or his father handed it down to him on his deathbed or something like that.
Could you imagine?
Oh, that would have been that.
Yeah,
Just
give me
would have been-
$200. It's fine.
Exactly.
Your quality of hats over there.
I'm funny right now.
The south side of Chicago. Your quality ass over there.
Oh wow.
Anyway.
So
Cool.
pink boots hoppy lager.
Yeah, hoppy
Pink boots.
lager.
Very
Interesting.
nice. It's
do you
funny
drink?
because I'm going hoppy. I'm going all hoppy. I'm doing something
are
I
doing-
rarely do on the show. Is I'm going all IPAs. I think this is only the second time I've done it, John. Second, maybe third.
Second time you've done it since the beginning when we were pretty IPA heavy.
But I'm starting here,
3.5, 4 years ago.
knowing damn well I'll probably never get this again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, vaya con Dios.
Exactly. It says they're from San Francisco, so hopefully
Hopefully they stay in San Francisco.
Well, what we hear now is that the employees have gotten together with a bunch of venture capitalists and they're trying to buy the brand. They're not trying to buy the brewery. They're not trying to buy the equipment, although the equipment was really it's really part of their recipes, right? There's a lot of stuff that I'm sure it can be made. Is it going to be exactly the same because it's not on that same equipment that's been brewed on for so many years? But
yeah,
they're trying to buy the brand. They're trying to buy the recipes. They're trying to buy all of that, and then set up shop somewhere else. And obviously, they're not going to set up shop on the scale that Anchor was.
No.
So we're not going to see any here, for quite some time, if at all, ever, unless we get it, to Vor kind of thing, or beer mail from friends.
Yeah,
But,
I think it's smart to buy the brand first. If you can show other investors you have the brand, then maybe other investors will work with you to get the equipment and the property.
Right. Exactly.
The brand's the most important thing.
That's number one. I'm going all Treehouse tonight.
Old Treehouse.
Shocker.
Yeah.
Right.
You're decked out in
Yeah.
Treehouse.
And 2 of the 3 beers I had last week were Treehouse too, so I just got to keep going on them. So my first beer is Old Hat. It's an American amber.
That's a brand new hat, John.
Yeah. Well, the beer is Old Hat.
Oh,
New hat, Old Hat.
old hat. I got
New hat, Old Hat. There you go. All right, so
Okay.
it's pretty.
I think I've got the 411 now.
Yeah, yeah. It's in proper glassware. There you go.
For glassware.
Pretty deep amber. If
Oh,
not,
that looks like teal. That looks like teal to me.
it looks like talking about the beer.
Oh.
It's almost. I mean, you could call this a brown ale, really. It does. It tastes like an amber lager, but it looks like a brown ale. So
Hoppy amber, traditional amber.
traditional amber, little bit of slight bit of floral to it. Little bit of no bitterness by any means. Just like little bit of earth, little bit of floral in the back end.
I
But
got a little bit of bitterness.
all malt up front. It's really good. It's very tasty.
All right,
I see. Back to all right. Back to so. All right.
What's the? I want to know what the first beer is you brewed at Kiitos.
Did he even say that yet?
Say that. So I want you guys to guess. I'm curious. What would you guys guess as the first beer I brew at Kiitos? I actually brought it, which is hilarious.
Interesting. Considering they are they're a Finnish brewery, right?
Correct. And no, it's not Sati.
Yeah, I was going to say, did they make you do the Sati the first time?
No.
Because that would be a bit of hazing right there, don't you think?
If and when I do the Sati beer, I mean, I will do it, but I want to wait until probably next fall. But I will do it with I'm trying to do it traditional way. The only thing with keto, well, we'll get down it. But John, what do you think? What do you think the first beer I brewed over there is?
All right. Well, let's narrow it down a little bit. Was it a lager?
Yes.
It was a lager. Okay.
I'm a beer maker for Christ's sake. So if I'm a beer maker, I should be making lager. So I
Right.
think
Very good.
Did you do a pills the first time?
I did do a pills. Well done.
Yeah,
So
Very nice.
Pilsner, boom. So the cool
Love
thing
it.
about Kiitos, I don't know if you guys are familiar with. There's I now operate. I'm one of 3 people in the state that can brew on the system because it's a mash press filter. There's 17 in the world, and it's HEBS, so HEBS system, high efficiency brew system. So basically, I'm French pressing grain between 32 different plates, and I use about 20% less water, 20% less malt, and it's very different because you take conventional brewing. Gravity helps you do everything.
Sure.
But with this, you are forcing grist through filters, and there's big pros and big cons to it. I found out I kind of was fed to the wolves. I kind of stirred up in a Hurricane Katrina situation, and like, hey, learn this. So you take brewing, then you turn it, and you're squeezing it. So my efficiency right now is 93%. That's how much sugar I'm extracting from the malt.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
it's really
amazing.
bad. So and I've learned that anything that's overly husky, shitty, it hates going through the filter. So I could literally do a 90% wheat-based beer and fly through it no problem. You guys look at that as a conventional brewer and you'd be like, "Oh shit, how much rice hulls you put in that?" I don't need rice hulls.
You don't need any rice hulls. So
I
you never get a stuck mash.
I wouldn't say never. I don't get a stuck mash, but if you really get a stuck mash, what happens is you're gonna have to open each of those 32 plates and let grain fall.
Right?
Yeah. So I know Coors in Golden, they use one of the mash presses, but we have 17 in the world as of right now, and Salt Lake is one of them. Kiitos.
Nice. That's
Very
awesome.
cool.
I'm not sure that we actually said, and I think by now anybody that's listening or
No,
watching,
he said it. He said it earlier.
Did say it earlier. He's now at Kiitos, right? Okay.
Oh yeah, Head Brewer at Kiitos took over, and so this is the first. Back to the beer. So this is the first beer I brewed because for 2 reasons. One, I wanted to put the hardest beer that you need to be excellent at in that press to see what came out. It's like, okay, why did it taste ABC? I feel like if you're trying to be very specific with a beer, that beer would be the one to tell you where you'd fuck up in a way.
Right.
And then number 2, I also did it because I wanted my community to be like, hey, this is the last beer you think I should make. I'm going to make it and give me all the feedback. And it's been really cool to see how everyone's like, yeah, take it for you to make a Pilsner out of like the hardest brewery in Utah and dry. And it came out pretty all right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cheers to the bravery, man.
Yes. Cheers for that. Definitely.
So I like beer flavored beer. And Kiitos wasn't known for that until I showed up.
Oh, yeah. They when we were there, they had a very, very interesting list.
Yeah, there's 29 taps. So
yeah. And it's
Wow.
running through them. We didn't, of course, we couldn't run through all of them because I was driving down to south of Provo. I forget where exactly we were going. But yeah, we had a bit of a drive, but it was the first stop after after we landed at SLC.
Yeah, it's really cool. I love it. It's a fun place, a great location. We have a great marketing staff. We have awesome swag. I think it's probably top 2, top 3 in the state of awesome swag. The culture is really cool. The pinball's unique, and that mash press. As a brewer, that was the next challenge when I left Strap Tank. I was given this opportunity to further enhance my brewing career, and it was one of those things where I'd be on my deathbed and I'd think, shit, I wonder what could have been. And instead of doing that, I'm like, fuck it, I'm sending it, and
there you go.
And then it was walking into, like I said, a Hurricane Katrina situation. I wasn't FEMA, thank God, but I showed up afterwards, and it's been a trial. If you guys would have texted me like a month ago, been like, hey, you guys want to come on? I'd be like, hell no, I ain't ready.
It's well timed, and it's so everyone knows what I texted you at around noon our time today.
Yeah,
about 10 in the morning, David's time. We're so happy you were able to come on at this last minute.
Thanks for thinking about me. Yeah.
Just thoughts out to we were supposed to have the Wirt guys, the podcast out of Long Island, on the show tonight. Matt and I for Coastal were on their podcast back in October, November, early November, and they were coming on tonight. Mike, one of the guys, just he's a little under the weather, and he emailed this morning with regrets and needs to reschedule for a few weeks from now. but actually maybe 5 weeks from now, beginning of March. But
Holy shit, he's sick forever. How do fuck?
what's that?
That's a long sickness. Holy, you get polio?
No.
No, we're booked until then.
We're booked until then. So I mean, if we didn't have a guest next week, he'd come on then. But
Yeah, I'll fill in anytime. You let me know. Give me at least like 6 hours. I got you.
give you 6 hours. So I called Dave right away. We're like, all right, who do we got to talk to? And we're talking about, oh, you know what? I'm going to find out what's going on in Utah because we were actually talking about Utah the other day. So let's get Dave on again. Boom. So he called you, and there you go. So
Terry's been talking about Utah about needing to come back.
And you know,
What do you guys do, please?
we want to talk about Kiitos a little bit more. Obviously, we want to talk about. We got a couple other things we want to talk about, which we said before, but we do want to talk about Tastemasters too. And it's just ironic I brought that up now because the Work podcast and Tastemasters. So we went from one podcast to another in the same show. So it worked out. So
I tell you, you know when I want to come back is when you guys do the German dark lager again, when you do the Schwartz beer again.
Yeah,
that was my favorite one that I drank there. Yeah, the Utah mild is loved that one, but that Schwartz beer was so good.
Yeah, not ironically, but I saw the sheets for it today. Actually, I was looking at it. I'm like, I have this lager strain. I have to keep going, and the majority of the beers in Kiitos are ales. And again, like I said, no, it's gonna change. No. Like, I'm gonna tell you a story about when I got in trouble. My first complaint was 2 months ago from the pinball guys. Fuckers.
the pinball bullies or just the pinball guys?
Is it a gang? Do they have jackets and jackets and patches?
No. They
got matching vests.
You got the vests.
Yeah, with quarters, just clinking and clacking.
Exactly.
But no, the Schwartz beer I really want to make because dark lagers are my.
You're preaching to the choir here.
Yeah.
Between Schwartz beers and Pamavi Pivos.
All right, dyslexia can be cured, Dave. You know. So.
How many beers do you have?
So can bacon.
That's true. Pamave Tivos. I'm gonna have to make that.
Pamave Tivo.
Figure that. The complete opposite of a Tamave Pivo. We got to make a Pamave Tivo.
In Park City, they make the best. Offset Brewery makes my friend Patrick makes the best Tamave Pivo in Utah. Period. And I'll keep that. Yeah, you guys. I will send you that beer next time he makes it because it's that damn good.
Awesome. Gotta get that. Where is Offset?
In Park City.
Park City. Yeah, I never made it to Park City.
There's 3 breweries in Park City. Park City Brewing, obviously, and then the oldest brewery in Utah, which is Wasatch, which is the top of Main Street in Park City. They just had the Sundance Film Festival come through this week, so I've been hearing all the stories. And
cool.
They got their asses kicked, but they sell hella good beer. And then Offset Brewery is the newest brewery. They've been there for 4 years, but they make, and I will fight anyone on this, but they make probably the best beer in Utah. Period.
Nice,
very nice.
That's
until you're getting there, right? You're dialing in.
These boys,
dialing in. This is one thing I love about Utah is the valley that Salt Lake City sits atop of. You got a mountain range on either side of it. Each mountain range has a brewery named for it, right? Because you got Wasatch Brewing, the oldest, and then Uinta.
Yeah,
probably the best known, and those are the 2 major.
Uinta's the biggest. Ranges. Yeah,
and we have one mountain range.
Which is weird because I was going to say, which is weird because the Wasatch Mountains are probably better known than the Uinta Mountains.
Yeah,
and Uinta Brewing is better known than Wasatch Brewing. So.
Yeah.
Well, New Jersey, we got one mountain range. We don't have any breweries named after it.
No Appalachian.
No, it's there. It's a branch of the Appalachians.
Yeah.
Actually, we have 2 because we have the Ramapos as well.
We have the Ramapo Mountains, and there's no Ramapo. There was Ramapo Valley Brewing as brew pub in New York at one time. But that's the valley, not that. Yeah, it's New York. But there was no Ramapo Mountain Brewing, and it starts with it also starts with an A. What the hell's the name of it? Really, John? Really, Dave?
Yeah, it's how we just.
We got a comment here. Maybe somebody's telling us.
This is why we need our
pinball
producers.
Meowdy. Oh, it's Worldwide Beer Fest. It's Cat Reyes. Meowdy from Washington State.
Hey, Cat.
Came here to get your page link to post on my social media post. Thank you, Cat. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you in a few weeks too. She's coming on the show.
It doesn't begin with an A. It's Kittatinnies.
What did you say?
It's the
I'm
Kittatinny.
sorry.
Kittatinny Mountains. Kittatinny Mountains, yes.
Kittatinny Brewing would make a great name.
Kittatinny Brewing would be a great name, yeah.
That'd be a great one.
Or any of the, you know what? I mean, hey, Chuck, Matt, Joe, any of the guys up in Hackensack or Chilton, Mike at Chilton Mill, any of the one, brew a Kittatinny Pils or a Kittatinny.
I think there is one.
I don't remember that. I mean, there very possibly could be one, but I never remembered it.
I'm just glad that my dyslexia didn't kick in when I said Kittatinny.
No, I know what I heard, and I don't.
Kittatinny.
Oh,
What would that be, Dave?
don't know. Not saying it. Oh my.
Anyway, all right, David. So let's talk about Kiitos. So what are some of the core beers from Kiitos that you've been flagships that you've been brewing? Obviously, that were out there beforehand.
Yeah,
more ales and lagers. Obviously, you just said you're bringing the lager game there.
One of their favorite ales was named after the most famous goalie from our Real Salt Lake soccer team. His name is Ramondo, and that's a classic IPA. They're going a lot of West Coast IPA on that one, and they put his name on his big goat on the front because in Utah we think he's the best soccer player ever to walk Utah, right? And a great Mexican player. He comes in all the time. So it's called the Ramondo IPA, and that's our flagship IPA that I'm really trying hard to bring back to just being fucking awesome. It's supposed to be Utah's really good at making session IPAs because we're for before the 5% law jumped, we were honed at 3.2, and we had to make damn good beer at low ABV. And so now the laws have kind of shifted a little bit. So now Utah
caught up a little bit with things.
Yeah. So we can do 5% on draft with beer, but the loophole is. On my draft system, I can pour a 24% ABV cider at 5 ounces, but I can't do that with my barley wine or my wheat wine or my imperial stout.
Reason?
Mormons. No, we'll leave it there.
Yep.
They don't know what they just anyway. Doesn't matter. To Ramondo, another one that I have really the Pilsner is his flagship. I'm working on that one. I've turned that Pilsner into a German traditional Pilsner. So. A traditional German Pilsner. So you're going to have a lot more traditional German hops inside of that beer. We have a blonde and an amber ale that would kick ass. And Kiitos won in 2018 for a gold medal at GABF for their coffee cream ale. So I
had that. That was very good.
I'm going back to try and make that great again because when it was award winning was single origin, and they somehow I do know the story, but I'll save the details. But they went to a blend instead. So I've gone back to single origin. I'm working with some local roasters to make that coffee bean really pop. The trick with the coffee beer we have at Kiitos is you're supposed to look at a clear beer and like lighter than this Pilsner, and you would never know there's coffee in it. Mm-hmm. But when you go for it, you'd be like, oh shit, shouldn't it be brown? Mm-hmm. It makes sense for coffee and brown or dark beer. And so that's the whole, nuance to the whole thing. The other one is actually, I wish I had it, is we're kind of known for our pickle beer, salt and pickle beer.
We had that too while we were there.
Yeah, so I call it Utah's the most hydrating beer in Utah. So anytime people come and visit me, they're like, hey, so what's the beer I should have? What's the beer you drink? I'm like, oh, the beer I drink is the beer you should have. If you want what I drink, after I'm on the brew deck for 10, 12 hours, I like to have a pickle beer because I get hydrated and a little buzz and I get to go home.
There you go.
Yeah. So, Kiitos is really fun, fascinating. We do have the sati beer for a while. We have a lot of sage and herbs. But those are some of our staples right now. Nice. The number one selling beer is a blackberry sour beer.
Blackberry sour.
Blackberry sour. So we have the highest selling sour beer in Utah right now.
Is it a kettle sour or?
It used to be kettle sour, but now we've switched to. I'm using the sour VCA yeast. And nice. I'm actually I don't like that yeast. I like that yeast because unlike the Philly sour yeast, when you use that yeast, you can't repitch. Well, you can repitch it for fermentation, but you can't repitch it to get that lactic acid production.
Right.
But the sour VCA, you can. But the lactic acid, I was getting them under 3. I was getting like 2.9, 2.7, 3 pH. I'm like, it'll eat your enamel off your teeth.
Yeah.
Well, so what I do is I do a
Oh, what happened? Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I can gum beer, I guess, but now
You
I
don't
do
need teeth to drink.
Yeah,
you
that's
don't. Yeah, you're right. So I do a 70-30 blend of sour VCA and right now USO5. So that USO5 kind of like it still does the fermentation, helps with the fermentation, but like kind of hones back that lactic acid production. And so I get in that perfect, like I like that 3.3-3.4 range. That's my perfect like souring range, and it gets it right there for me.
nice.
Yeah.
That's great. That's awesome. That's awesome. You talked about the pickle beer. Actually, Dave, I was just going to tell you, I actually have a sour pickle from Martin
Sour.
House.
Martin House.
Martin House. So I'm
Was
saving
it-
that
was
for
it-
whenever Tony comes on. I'm saving
Is
that one.
is it the Kolsch?
No, it's just a
It's a
sour.
sour.
No, it's just a pickle one. Okay.
It's just
Yeah.
a sour pickle beer. Yeah,
So have you guys had a non-soured pickle beer?
have not. No.
I have not.
Because I feel like everyone you kind of go goose style,
Mhm.
goza. You get the kettle sours. But what I did is I'm like, nah. So here, let's go to my story. So there's a Kiitos Light. This is what I have right here. My next beer I'm going to drink, Kiitos Light. Okay.
Very nice.
It's before I took over, this was 123 calories. It was 2-row, USO5, a little maltodextrin for some fucking reason, and some hops. That's it. And people loved it. So then I come on and I turn this into a light American lager. I put a little bit of German hops in it. I treat it like a lager. I aged it for about 5 weeks. And my owner, and bless his heart, he pulls me aside about a month and a half ago. He's like, "Hey, did you change the Kiitos Light?" Yeah, sure did. He goes, "Okay, well, a couple of pinball guys. It tastes beer flavored."
You mean the beer tastes like beer?
You're welcome.
They were complaining that the beer tasted like beer.
So I make beer flavored beer.
Mhm.
And so the reason why I changed this to a lager instead of a light American ale is because this is the base for the pickle beer. So we have pickle lager beer at our brewery right now.
That's awesome.
Very nice. Very
And I
nice.
use local salt from Redmond, which is in the middle of Utah, just north of Moab.
Mm.
And they have some of the best salt. It's better. I think it's better than red Himalayan or pink Himalayan sea salt. And
Drove through Redmond.
yeah, it's got this beautiful minerality, like this flintiness to it. That's just so awesome. I use that in there.
The air has got minerality down there.
It's just so great. And then actual pickle juice, and then I make a lager. And so I make pickle lager.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it's a salt pickle.
When I
salt pickle lager, basically.
Salt pickle lager, yeah.
When I tell Carrie that you have this beer, maybe when she gets out of the boot that's on her foot, we may be doing a weekend.
Yeah, let me know. I'll give you guys the
I'm
tour.
in, so
And I want to show that mash press. So that mash press is different. When you guys see that mash press, it's the best way I can put it is it's French pressing grain. And when you first see it as a brewer, you're like,
But you said sideways.
yeah. So you take, you have your kettle and you have your typical Vorloff. So Vorloffing is your clarifying beer, right?
Mhm.
And you have a false bottom, and underneath that false bottom is where you're extracting the sugar water, that wort, and you're putting it in your kettle, right? Makes sense to me.
Sure.
But no, what we do is we just spin grist the whole time. There's no false bottom. They're just agitators. And we're throwing it through a 2.5-inch hole and filling up these plates. And there's a hard plate followed by a bladder, followed by a hard plate, followed by a bladder. So I can get about 85% of my kettle filled with just, filtering wort in this grist. And then what I do is I fill up my bladders in between these hard plates, and I'm literally French pressing this grain. And what that does is it forces all the sugar to come out, and that wort fills the last 15 and 20% of my kettle. So when you look at the kettle before my squeeze, is what it's called, I'm like, I just fucked up my beer because I didn't put enough water or grain. But then you do the squeeze, and you can make up all that.
Making the difference. Yeah.
Have you tried putting rye in there yet?
Yeah. So we did a
How does
collaboration.
that work?
Great. So they did a 95% rye base.
Oh wow, my God!
And
And it wasn't stuck
What?
at all. No stuck.
No.
Wow,
Rice-
rye's infamous for becoming cement.
Nope. So the beer tasted very gummy. It's really cool to see. It's fun to fuck with, mess with. But the only caveat to the thing is the huskier the beer. So overkilled malts that
Right.
have really dry that husk, it doesn't like going through the filter. So actually, stouts are the hardest beers for me to make, but gummy beers like rye and wheat are the easiest beers for me to make.
That's pretty.
That's pretty insane.
Yeah, it's far fetched to me because like my favorite beers to make are stouts, but now I hate stouts because I hate making them. I'm like, fuck.
That's great. That's great. Kat Reyes just said from Worldwide Beer Fest said you should do a video demo of your technique. Sounds interesting. She said.
Yeah, I thought about that because if you go to the website on HB, the Hebs or IDD website, and you try to look at the videos, it's like someone holding the video and doing this, like, yeah, this is how we do it. It's the worst thing in the world. So yeah, I thought about it. I'm going to do it because I feel like the system I have is so unique and so complex that I want to show people who haven't used it or are curious about it. I've had people reach out to me within my small amount of time being there. Hey, how have you worked about this? Because if I didn't have people, like I told you, there's 17 in the world. There's one at Gilgamesh in Oregon, one at Crux Fermentation, Oregon, one at Red Hook in Washington, and then one in San Diego and Coachella Brewing. And so that's the closest to me. Next is there's two in Texas, and then there's one in New York. That's winery and beer brewery. And so I reached out to a bunch of people on the West Coast. I'm like, hey, so I have no idea how to fucking run this thing. How do you run this thing? And luckily the brewers are so kind and like, hey, we'll help you, homie. Like, this is not what happens. And so it was cool to get like people in the brewing community like come, because IDD, when I called them, and I'll call them out, I don't give a shit, but they are the worst customer service I've ever dealt with in my entire life. And they're like, oh, if you want help from us, we'll charge you $350 a minute.
Of course,
a minute.
I'm a beer maker. I don't.
What?
Do you know what our margin is?
What is going on?
Yeah.
So luckily I learned how to brew on that, and I really want to showcase that system, but I also don't want to promote IDD at all.
Well, promote the equipment, not so much the customer service.
I was like, this is a Kiitos machine. I'll scratch out IDD.
Yeah, there you go.
John, open my second beer.
Well, what is that, sir?
I'm drinking your shirt.
You're drinking my shirt, are you?
Yeah. See?
Should I just go like this, or should I
like
put the crawl up? There you go.
And I have it, and I don't know if you can make it out because it's just a raised cup, but it is proper glassware.
It is proper glassware. I see that.
Little treehouse go on that. Mm-hmm. This is such a good beer.
Green is very good. Green is very good.
There's two beers that they make, and I'll be drinking the other one that just really put them on the map for very good reasons.
Oh yeah. Well, I told you the other day I had the what was the peach sickle, which is basically haze aged on or rested on, not aged, but rested on whole vanilla beans. Whole vanilla beans. No, there's I think there's. I'm guessing. I didn't even look. I didn't even go back and look at haze. Is there nectar on in haze?
There's nectar. No, I don't know.
Because there's no peach. Anyway. They didn't have peaches at all. But there is a peach flavor to it. So obviously that's from the hops. I'm assuming it's nectar on.
Those nectar on hops give like a peachio vibe to it. So it could be if it's peachio, like candied peachios.
Yeah, those peach rings. Yeah,
the peach rings. So it could be Galaxy too, because Galaxy has a bit of a peach ring vibe to it, a little bit, not like nectar on, but it's got if it's sitting with like our Trojan Seahorse, right?
Hey, I like that beer, by the way. I enjoyed that beer, and the coffee porter, was it?
Yeah, the Nautical Twilight. Yeah,
that one. Like, I did one of these, John. I was like, oh shit. Okay, Jersey, I see you.
Hey.
You talk about this beer here?
That's the one. Yeah. It's like a 7% beer, right? 7.2?
6.5 actually. That one is
5.
Yeah, Trojan Seahorse is 8.5.
Nautical
Twilight 6.5. Yeah, but
on my ass, that's for sure.
Yeah, right. And it'll do that too. It'll sneak up on you because you think you're drinking I mean, if somebody told you drink it and you didn't know it was 8.5, somebody told you it's a sessionable beer. It's like 5.4. You'd believe them. Yeah,
I would, but I feel like I can drink more than you guys right now because I'm at like almost 5,000.
So your altitude.
Like, how are these guys drinking this? Holy shit! It doesn't hit me as hard.
We've been at it for a while, Dave.
We've been it's training.
But like a couple weeks ago, we went to the first weekend of Mardi Gras. We went to hang out in Louisiana. By the way, I'm sorry, New Orleans. Figure out your craft beer game because it sucks. Just saying, my bad. Went there. I drank like a sailor and barely felt anything. And I looked at my buddy who's living in Miami, and I'm like, dude, I'm not. Am I broken? Am I an alcoholic? I'm sitting there like, he's having the conversation right now. He's like, nah, man, like you're at sea level. Oh,
Oh, okay.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Kat, just a quick aside. Kat wanted to put this up. She said, that would be a great video. You should make it and submit it to our craft beer content competition. Theme is unity. The video could be about your beer community coming together and help you learn your system. And that's and she put the link. I'll send you the link for her.
yeah, thanks. God, what a badass.
She's running the Worldwide
April
Beer
20th.
Fest. It's a virtual beer fest on April 20th.
Oh,
And
shit.
they're having competitions. They're having it's a
send me
lot of
this
stuff. We'll be involved with it. Yes, Kat's coming on the show in a few weeks too. So
Yeah, let me know when it is so I can help support it and blow it up in Utah.
absolutely, definitely.
Oh yeah, get it throughout the breweries.
Absolutely.
It's the one thing we've learned talking to you and a few other people out there is that the Utah brew community is their community.
Yeah, we call it a small lake city.
Small Lake City.
Nice.
The thing is, if you're an asshole, you'll be found out in a heartbeat. I kid you not.
Like that.
Mm.
Right.
Don't be an asshole.
Don't be an asshole.
Oh, hold on. Let me write that. How do you spell that?
Don't be
Don't.
and yeah.
PINBALL.
IDD customer
IDD.
service.
$3.50 an hour. God.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah. So I'll give you all that information, David. But
Please, thank you. Thanks,
absolutely.
Kat.
Yeah, Kat's great. So, all right. So let's talk about Tastemasters for a minute.
All right.
What's been new? What's been going on with Tastemasters since you were last on? Some
So
new
loaded
shows, things you're doing. Go for it.
So great. We have great episodes coming on. I mean, I had some cool. I'm kind of shifting it. So when I took over at Kiitos in August, my time went from having an adequate amount to none. And so, and this is a complete sincerity with you guys, is whatever extra time I had for myself was very thin.
Mm-hmm.
And I drew myself a bath or tried not to numb it. My go-to was, I'm just going to numb it. I don't want to feel I had a hard day. And so I was trying really to not do that. And so I would draw myself a bath or try to meditate, even though it was hard, try to go to the gym. That was tough. And then any extra time I had after that, I'd give to my wife, which is very rare. And so the other thing is I had zero time to give to the podcast. So the podcast, I kind of released like an emotional video of being like, hey guys, I kind of disappeared for like a month and a half, and no one knew where I was. No one knew what was going on. I mean, the people knew in the scene, but my followers or my community that's not in the beer scene had no idea what happened to David. What happened? You know, this just joyous, bubbly guy with great hair, like all of a sudden just disappears. And so I released a video being like, hey guys, just so you know, like I took on this role and I'm feeling all the feels. I have resentment, I have hate, I have love, I have excitement. I am so nervous, all of it. And just so you know, I'm kind of taking a little break. I'm going to still release episodes here and there. So for almost 4 years straight, I was doing an episode every week. And that's a lot. And I had a lot of time to do that. Now I don't have any time. As of Christmas, I set some boundaries. I kind of regrouping this year has been really great. And then the beginning of this month, I had my 4-year anniversary and released our 200th episode. So we did that. And my new focus is now trying to get people and beer maker or fermentation makers together and have those conversations over the microphone. And so it's less trying to try to get the episodes in and more about that quality content.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to inquire more video. So videos coming out and traveling more. So my podcast, I can go anywhere with that podcast. And because of the boundaries I've set at Kiitos is they know it's a passion of mine. And because of who I am, I've connected a lot of individuals and I'm still connected with the community in Utah and I'm going to make it happen. And I'm not stopping that. To me, that's more important than I don't own Kiitos. Now, if I owned Kiitos or if I had some ownership in it or it was my thing, I feel like I'd put more time and energy in that. But I'm also living in Utah County. I drive about 40, 45 minutes to go to my place of work. So in Utah, when it snows, boy, I have a Prius. I'm fucked. Like, and so it's balance. There's two things I'm working on at work. I'm working on balance, and then this year for my personal self growth, I'm working on discipline. And so the podcast is unfortunately has taken kind of a back seat for me, but I'm not done with it. It's just kind of like a regrouping. I'm just kind of focusing more, and it's more quality now.
That's awesome. That's
That's
awesome.
your long-winded answer.
No,
No, not at all.
That's perfect. Spot on.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. And you know, as you do any other episodes or whatever, if you ever want Dave and I to, you know, come on and bring a couple people from Jersey on or whatever,
I would love it.
you know, we could do.
The thing about it is, now this is why last time we talked is I've never done a over the phone or over the computer episode ever.
Everything's been live.
Yeah,
We've
yours
been
is
together all the time.
person.
Yeah.
Right. So this is kind of, this feels personal. This does, because we're all having beers, right? I'm okay with this, but doing it on the phone, I just have this weird, like, it's not the same of like you and I making eye contact and being like, hey,
exactly,
like, feel my energy kind of thing. So
this
makes
us, you're what, 1,900 miles away from us, and we're in the same room right now.
Right.
You know,
but like for me, it's like, you know, when I'm in the same room with you over that same table, we can break bread over that one beer, and I can make eye contact. Versus you, I can sit here and I can be watching, like, for all you know, I'm watching a show right now. I'm doing the dishes. I'm wearing no pants. Like, who knows? Like,
who is?
Yeah, we've definitely all the time we've encouraged Dave not to stand up on most shows, just in case.
Especially with that shirt on, for heaven's sake.
You never know. Yeah, because it's a little short. It should be longer.
Exactly.
Tell you what.
Kat says, we were talking before about the how do you spell asshole, and there was whatever came before that or whatever. She said that would be another great video.
Maybe you should do like a video on beer and pinball.
Like an anti-bullying thing, and be like, hey, this is how you not bully.
So now Kiitos has to have a beer named Pinball Wizard. No.
Okay, so I thought about this. So that Kiitos Light, I told you guys, I turned into a lager.
Right.
I thought about making that same original recipe. There's nothing wrong with it. Like, there was nothing wrong with the old recipe. I actually made it. I made the new one 43 calories less, so it's like more light. Like, it's actually
light. Yeah.
You know, like I did it. I did my job.
So you've got 100 calorie beer.
Yeah. So it's great. You know, it's lighter, it's crushable, it's a lawnmower beer. It's what you want. And so I thought about taking the old beer, bringing it back, and call it Pinball Wizard.
Pinball Wizard, absolutely, do it. Done.
Yeah.
Why not? And then every time the song gets played.
There you go.
Exactly. And then if the pinball bullies complain about that,
wait a second. Which version of Pinball Wizard?
Any remix to piss them off. I'll show you how bowling is done.
I control the sound system.
That's great. I love it.
Because I asked the one guy who made, we have, I think, 15 machines, 15 or 20, and there's a lot of we have the most pinballs in Utah, I'm pretty sure. And the guy who maintains it, his name is Pinball Mike, and he's like a legend in the country. He's like, he scores a billion points in 1 quarter. And you're like, oh well, I just wasted $5 and I got 1 ticket, right? You know, whatever. And I asked him, I'm like, hey, so I got a question for you. And without skipping a beat, he looks at me and goes, if you ask me about Pinball Wizard, no, I don't like the song.
Really?
All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
That's funny.
But it makes sense.
You said the Who's version or Elton's version?
I mean, I would do the Who's version.
You got to do the Who's version. Absolutely.
You have to.
Oh my! So you've got one beer on your tap list that I have to ask about because I love the name. Big Gay Ale. Great South Park reference right there.
It was. So
was it for Pride Week?
It was for Pride. It's for Pride Month.
Pride Month,
Utah's Pride is pretty wild. It's pretty insane. It's in a good way. It's really cool because Utah's very, I don't like the word segregated, but Utah's very there's a dominant religion in Utah that kind of is, we're all kind of like, guys, just like you can practice what you want, do what you got to do. I don't give a shit, but like, just let me be gay. That's and so Salt Lake gay community is so amazing, and Kiitos is very eco-friendly, and we bring in anyone in the community. Like we don't discriminate versus anyone.
Of course.
And so Kiitos is one of the first to be like, you know what, we're gonna make a pride beer. And Kiitos did it before my time. They did it, and they made their blonde ale, and they put glitter in it, and they made us gay as fuck, and they put it out.
Well, the shirt that you held up earlier.
Oh yeah, that's the pride one. Yeah,
The pride flag's on it.
yeah, I love it. And Kiitos, Kiitos has pride everywhere, and they have eco-friendly this, and because our goal is to, Kiitos is all about community, bringing everyone together. It doesn't matter who you come from, where you're from. We're a Finnish beer brewery, for heaven's sakes. And then our mash press is the most efficient system in the world. So like we're just trying to like be easy on the earth, welcome everyone, and keep going. It's like unity, right? It's just like you breathe the same air you do, so let's drink the same beer.
Exactly.
And speaking of community, I think my 3 favorite breweries in Salt Lake City, it's like you guys, Fisher, TF.
Yeah.
You can walk all 3 of them.
So like I told you, it goes half a mile from Kiitos. You run half a mile, get a beer. Fisher. I haven't done the TF one yet, but it's just right there.
But they're like right there. It's just
That's
like
awesome.
if you park strategically,
Yeah.
you can easily hit all 3.
And we have a
There's
bigger
no foot.
parking lot than TF and Fisher combined. So all I say is
But that's not saying anything.
start at Kiitos.
Fisher doesn't have a parking lot.
Right.
TF's is no larger than
That room you're in right now.
yeah. I think they got 12 spots.
Right.
Not even that. I think they got
But
like 8
both make
spots.
fantastic beer. I mean,
Oh my God, there's
TF's
great-
helping
there's-
get on the map. Fisher has the best community environment, and then Kiitos is just buck wild, and it's awesome, and we're all great, and we have
Yeah, 3 entirely different breweries
for
by
sure.
feel.
But they all have great crowds. There's no assholes in any of them, and that's
Yeah,
what I like about it.
Because TF is very much one of those you could plop that into Brooklyn, and it would be right at home.
Yeah,
There you go.
Fisher is very much a community brewery. When you walk in there and you're out of town, you
It's
know
like-
you're out of town
Right.
Oh, for sure.
because they look at you.
Oh yeah, like who's this guy?
Yeah, and
It's like the Dexter Lake Club. The music
yeah.
stops.
Can I dance with your dates? But then and then Kiitos is just hey, anything can go here.
Unless it's pinball tournament day, and you
want to play the James Bond machine.
you go to the James Bond machine,
Mhm.
and you're clicking and clacking, and you broke the rules. I broke the rules, guys.
I'm glad we left before the tournament started.
There you go.
I was feeling good. I ran, I exercised, and had a beer.
It's all
And I
good.
still offended people. Like I can't.
On that note, I just poured my my second, even though Dave just finished his second. I just
I haven't
poured my
finished
second.
it. I've still got a little
You still got a little bit there.
That is light.
Oh wow, that's the light. That's
This is
the,
my beer flavored beer. This is the one I
that's
got.
your
in
beer
store.
flavored beer. Nice.
Yeah.
That is pretty.
Exactly what it should look like.
Oh, that is pretty. Yeah, I'm gonna need to get out there and get some of that. Very nice. I'm drinking another next Treehouse. Obviously, it's Ace in the Hole.
Oh, pre-prohibition porter.
Pre-prohibition.
Oh,
I
Okay.
love those.
So
Send
good.
that to me because I love pre-pro pours. Like that's
There you go.
It's not teal anymore.
It's not. No, that's this one.
Oh, it's a different glass.
It's a different class.
but for real. Can I tell you guys a cool story about this beer, this style of beer?
Go for it.
This was one of my first historical beer styles I brought out because my family. So I'm half Mexican and half Caucasian. My mom's Porter. My dad's Hispanic. Jimenez is where we're from. My mom's dad was the first Porter because his dad was a Pontius. And then when the Prohibition was happening, he was running the coal mines, shot and killed somebody, and fled. I think it was Virginia. Fled Virginia to come here into the state and changed his name from Pontius to Porter. And so I named my pre-Prohibition Porter Pontius.
Pontius.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
And I love that style because when I saw the people at GA or World Beer Cup win that, I was like,
There you go.
There you go.
love that beer.
That's awesome. Yeah, this is pretty spot on. It's pretty fantastic. To say a treehouse beer is pretty spot on is kind of like saying,
Yeah.
oh, the sun is bright today.
Oh, the water's so wet.
The water's so wet.
Oh, I love how you guys say water. There's no O in it. It's beautiful. You guys
Water.
are so beautiful.
Water.
We also sometimes slip an R into it. Water.
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 Like, could be,
W-O-R.
hey, you could be in Philly. You could say water.
I like that. So what words in Utah you guys find fascinating with a Utah accent? Is there any like weird words?
There's really no accent in Utah that I came across while I was there.
Nothing that stands out.
No.
at all, really.
The thing to me stands about Utah, two things: the absolute natural beauty of the state, and the diversity of terrain in that state is absolutely. It's because you were talking about down by near Moab, where, like I said, even the air has minerality. It's a dust bowl, but a beautiful dust bowl.
And that red rock is just gorgeous, and that's why the Native Americans chose that, and that's what the petroglyphs are and the pictographs is because that red rock is just forever. I mean, holy cow, Utah's underrated. And when
you got your mountain ranges, right?
Yeah.
Well, we were there. We're driving down one road on top of I think it was the Wasatch, and we've got 3-foot snow drifts on either side where they've just plowed through.
Oh, jeez.
Then we get down into Goblin Valley, and it was a little chilly that day. But then there was one day where we're in Moab and it was warm. Then we get into Bryce Canyon, and there's roads closed because there's snow.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Salt Lake. You got the Salt Flats.
Yeah. And that's bonkers too. Yeah. Salt Flats.
I mean, it's desolate, but beautifully desolate. It's hard to explain if you haven't seen them.
Yeah, but like you were saying, the weather. Like last week, it was snowstorms, 3 feet of snow. No one knows how to drive, and then all of a sudden, the last 3 days, it's been like 60 degrees, like the weather. Like, oh, really?
I'm glad when we packed for all temperatures, which really came in handy because we were from
Utah. You have to in the winter.
You have to.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's definitely.
We were there in April.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't, and I got to get out there. I have not been to Utah, but I've been to Denver and experienced the same thing.
Okay, so Denver is, imagine Salt Lake Denver 10 years before Denver's time. Okay. That's Salt Lake. We're like 10 years behind Denver. Salt Lake is.
I just meant with the weather and everything else. Like it's snowing like 10 feet of snow and 20 degrees, and the next day it's 80.
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah.
But I'm being a little extreme, but you get the idea.
In Utah, the weird words are we don't say mountain. That's a weird word. We say mountain.
Yeah, we say mountain too.
We say mountain.
Instead of saying creek, the word creek, like Schitt's Creek, it's crack.
Crack.
Like with a
crack.
CREHK.
Crack.
Like
we say mountain, but
we say mountain,
but we say creek.
Yeah, I wish we said creek. Fuck.
We got a lot of weird ones too because we don't say
we don't. Some people don't say Taylor ham. They say pork roll. Some people don't say pork roll.
That's an in-state thing. No, I was going to go with the word drawer. Right, you've got a chest of drawers.
I can't even spell that. So
drawer.
Throw that out.
In New Jersey, it's drawer. It's pretty much 1.5 syllables.
And a lot of people I know don't even put the ER on the end. It's just draw.
Just draw.
Could you get that out of that draw?
Yeah.
Draw.
I love that so much.
We got another phrase here because most people go to the beach. In New Jersey, you don't go to the beach. Mm-mm. You go down the shore.
Down the shore.
Mm-hmm. And down the shore is an activity and a location at the same time.
If you're going to the beach, you're going down the shore.
Sure. And then when you get there, you are
down the shore.
Right. Oh, okay. There's a Utah term called soaking. Remind me after this to tell you what that is.
To tell you that is all right.
No, we're done. You can go right into it.
It's not bathing soaking. It's a different kind of soaking.
It's a different kind of soaking. So he wants to tell us later, David.
Oh, after the show's
off camera, exactly. Yeah, right now I am down the shore. I live down the shore, so I'm right now.
Yeah, he lives down the shore.
I'm like
Damn.
the ocean's about 4.5 blocks that way.
It's weird. We've told this to a lot of people on the show. John lives down the shore. I grew up down the shore. I live just outside New York City. He grew up just outside New York City.
We switched.
I probably live 15 miles from where he grew up. If
Not even. No, I grew up as the crow flies. I grew up 12 miles from New York City. You're about 2 miles from New York City.
I can go over to the window and see it.
But with the river, you're about 2 miles from New York City. So
When you count the river,
you're about 10 miles from where I grew up.
Yeah, it's because the Hudson's about half a mile wide, right? Probably about 3/4 of a mile wide.
It's
right
just
there.
shy of a mile. Yeah. But so that's that. Well, I was just going to say the reason I said that I'm 4.5 blocks from the ocean. I don't see the ocean as often as you think I would see the ocean living 4.5 blocks from it. Like, unless I, and the summer's a different story, right? But unless I take a walk, unless I go down there, I have no reason to drive that way for anything, So, because there's.
Unless I never leave the apartment or open the window, I see New York City every single day.
Right.
Every day. You take it for granted. But every now and then I got to remind myself, greatest city on the planet. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
Back to work.
Back to work. Exactly. Chuck Aaron just chimed in. He says, "Happy episode 166."
Oh, but who's counting?
But who's counting? Right?
Thanks, Chuck.
Well, you were on
Beagle.
Exactly. He was on episode 164. So
That's how he.
And by accident too. He wasn't scheduled.
Yeah.
I know that's like.
What are we talking about here?
No. I mean, we started the show. He wasn't scheduled. He wasn't coming on.
Oh, the show was going on.
He started messaging. We were like, you know what? You make a good point. Jump on. We sent him the link, and he came on the show.
I love that.
And it was on for about an hour. Yeah.
He got shanghaied.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Not at all. All right. So, what's your third beer? I hear you cracking that.
Oh, okay. So I saved it for last because this is my favorite Treehouse staple beer.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever asked me my favorite Treehouse beer, I couldn't do that. There's too many.
Treehouse.
Treehouse. This is Julius.
The can is orange. Is it orange, Julius?
That's how they named it.
Exactly.
And this is a Citra bomb and a half.
Could have been Caesar.
Right.
Sitting here like,
It's got anchovies in the can. It's like Caesar dressing.
There we go.
Very nice.
At two Jimenez at two.
thick right there.
Yeah, this is a New England IPA. Very much. They call it an American IPA, but this is the New England IPA.
That's a pretty pour. That's a really nice head on that too.
Yeah, you like that?
That's really good.
This glass is so easy to pour into.
Nice.
I like how we all chose like proper glassware, not shaker pints.
Yeah. Well, my first one was a shaker pint.
Oh, put that away. Throw it away.
Yeah. I like shaker pints every now and
I keep my shaker pint right there. Right here.
Yep.
There you go.
No,
I have one of those.
Yes, you do. So
I had two of them. Broke one.
you broke one. That's your own fault. So.
It's my own fault.
At least it's not in a box in storage.
I have so much glassware in boxes in storage.
Jess just scored 6. I think it was 6. Maybe it might have been 4. No, it was 6. Delirium Tremens tulips at a thrift shop today for $4.
What?
I'll give her 75 cents for one of them.
Sounds like a pinball bully right there.
There you go.
Oh. No. She only bullies Danny DeVito.
She does. No, she doesn't bully. She loves Danny.
She didn't bully him.
Exactly.
His significant other is becoming a legend in the state. She needs to buy a ring so we can all kiss it.
Mm-hmm. She met Danny DeVito while she was out for a run. He approached her. You want a picture? Of course, she had to bend way down to take the picture. But the picture, she put it up on one of the local Facebook groups. Within a day or two, it was picked up by so many news outlets, Runner's World, everything else, and it was in print in 2 publications, one in New Jersey, one in Staten Island.
That's it.
And as we all know, Danny DeVito is 30 bananas.
He's 30 bananas. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He's a measuring unit.
Mhm.
I like that. 30 bananas.
30 bananas.
30 bananas. I'm trying to standardize all these strange measurements we come up with.
Yeah.
Right. And Danny DeVito, I said, is 14 giraffes.
14
14 Danny DeVitos is one giraffe.
and one giraffe.
Giraffes. Like, no.
It's the other way around. 14 Danny DeVitos is one giraffe.
One giraffe, yeah.
Oh, we also know that.
Danny DeVito's not 14 giraffes.
No.
Yeah. It's like you guys have cool. If you want a lawsuit, you could just Gwyneth Paltrow hit her over here in Utah. Like you
Yeah,
guys,
but then you got to be skiing and the whole
Yeah,
thing.
I see. I don't ski, so I'll never run.
Yes, no lawsuit for you, son.
I can never ever remember her name, so I just refer to her as Vagina Candle.
Yeah, the goop, right? That's the thing.
That was the weirdest thing. It's like, why would it never?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we'll just let that die.
Let it go. I think it's time for our top threes. What do you think?
What was it again?
Our top three tonight is because we didn't mention this before. The other day,
A celebration day, observation of the day
is Happy Draw a Dinosaur Day. Happy Draw a Dinosaur Day. So, and I don't know if Dave did. I know I didn't. I don't know if David did, but
I was going to draw one on the fly.
Well, you can draw on a fly. I'm not. I can. I don't know. But it's Happy Draw a Dinosaur Day. We don't have to. I'm not gonna. I'll
draw mine.
Yeah, you draw yours. There you go. But
I'll draw mine.
In honor of Draw a Dinosaur Day, our top three list tonight is top three favorite dinosaurs.
But the other thing about it is Utah is known for fossil finds.
There you go.
Would you stop? Don't break.
Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not even out. I'm not going to say it. I will say. I will let you.
Thank you. That's one of mine.
Exactly. So, top three favorite dinosaurs. David, please start us off with your list.
Yeah. So my number 3 is the Bronchiosaurus, but I don't know if it's dinosaur, but it had the long neck.
Oh yeah.
Because the reason why I like that dinosaur is it's like a giraffe,
Mm-hmm.
and I always wanted to know one question that no one to this day, and I'll give you guys the same question: how long does it take for a giraffe or a Bronchiosaurus to throw up?
Bro.
That's a good question. Do you know?
Yeah. That's
I a giraffe has been like ha for like 3 hours,
Just moving a little bit
God.
further over here.
And imagine if they bred one with a cat, how long would it take to get that hairball up?
Oh my goodness! It just give up. I would
It'd be weeks.
just cut it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then my number 2 is the Utah Raptor.
There it is.
So, Dave, you brought it up, but Utah Raptor was founded, I think, just north of Moab. It's outside of Moab in a quarry. So it's locally from Utah. It's stated that it's the biggest or one of the biggest, largest velociraptors in the world.
Wow.
And the biggest velociraptor was out of Mongolia. And
Nice.
they have their talons, their front claws were like razor sharp. They just basically call them blades. They're just blades.
Oh, wow.
And then they have that big old big toe, just like
Yeah.
So Utah Raptor. And then my number 1, my favorite dinosaur as a kid growing up, all of it was the Ankylosaurus, which was
That's a badass dinosaur.
it's basically a tank with a mallet at the end. And I'm like, it's like a turtle. It's basically a turtle, but it was spikes.
Yeah.
My top 3.
That's a respectable 3.
It is.
Very respectable 3.
But for real, how long does it take for a giraffe to throw up? Can anyone? And is the bow tie boat down here?
Yeah, exactly. Does anybody know how long it would take?
Things that keep me up at night. That.
Exactly. Things that make you go,
No, that's a song.
Well,
Yeah.
no, it's true though. It's a true song.
It is.
Samurai, what are yours?
Number 3, and it's similar to David's number 3, and it's I think it was called the Dreadnoughtosaurus.
Dreadnoughtosaurus.
The Dreadnoughtosaurus. It was the largest of all the sauropods. A brachiosaur, also known as a brontosaur. It was called brontosaurus for a while, and they changed it to brachiosaur. Would be dwarfed by this thing.
Dwarfed.
Now, is it Dreadnoughtosaurus?
Dreadnoughtosaurus, because dreadnought means fear nothing.
Right.
So
You
it's
know,
like 14 and a half Danny DeVitos, or like 30. Danny
no,
DeVitos?
we're talking about
Gotta be like
we're talking about
80,
60 Danny DeVitos.
80 Danny DeVitos. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
You
got
got
to be
me.
up there. It's a lot of Danny DeVitos, but it was a human being. Actually, probably a lot more than that, because a human being would only come up to its ankle.
Wow.
That's how big this thing was.
Massive,
Never,
like, animal, like a
yeah, probably
living
one of the largest thing that's ever walked the planet. It's the length of a blue whale.
I gotta look this up.
This thing is amazing.
Wow.
But imagine that we only come up to its ankle.
So how long does it take for it to throw up?
Yeah, it was about a year and a half. First you got to determine how long it takes us to swallow something, and then. But my number 2 is your number 1, the Ankylosaurus. The Ankylosaurus is one of 5 dinosaurs they have decided that could definitely kill a T-Rex. An Ankylosaurus, first, the T-Rex can't get through that shell. Right, that shell is what's the bad guy's name in Mario? Remember that shell that he wore?
Hitler.
No, it wasn't Hitler.
Bowser.
Bowser.
Bowser, yes, the Bowser shell. That's what the top of this thing looks like. But like you said, it's that big old mallet club with spikes on it. And they can
imagine
swing
that, like,
at the,
you have a dog with a big tail. Like, imagine, it hits like back. Imagine
Yeah,
those spiky balls, just like,
yeah, you've tied a mace to it, a medieval mace to that thing.
Yeah.
And it could break the bones in a T-Rex. You break their bones, they're dead. Right? It's just everything's going to predate on it. But my number 1, I'm going to draw it for you here. I'm going to see if I can't draw this properly.
it's my drawing.
Let's see if I can do this.
You're drawing. That's your drawing.
My Drawosaurus.
There you go.
There you go.
No, this isn't working. Drawsaurs?
Drawosaurus.
Okay, so we can do it this way. It looks like it's a
There's
devil.
no ER. It's
No, I can't draw this. This is looking really stupid. Triceratops. Triceratops was my always been my favorite. This thing is a tank. This is the predecessor, I guess, to the rhinoceros. You would think it would be, but it's not. But man, I love these things. It's just these walking tanks with these big plates on their head. It looked like they were meant to plow roads up in the Wasatch
the thing
Mountains.
is, like, that back of their head, that was part of their skull.
Yeah.
So like that, I was debating that one too, because like you have this big skull, like a fence, and then big ass like horns. Like, I'm gonna fuck you up. Right?
Yeah, you got these 2 horns going this way. You got the one coming out the nose, and you just kind of hope it's not a Labrador Retriever, because Labrador Retriever, when you meet them, they put your nose right in your crotch. You don't want to trust that.
You don't want that, you don't want that.
You don't want that.
Well, what kills me is they called it as an herbivore. Was a Triceratops? But for
Right.
me, it looks like a meat eater, like a killer, like a
You would think,
assassin.
but these things were built for defense, just like the Ankylosaurus was. But the Ankylosaurus, you just couldn't get into it.
Yeah,
You could still get, if you got around the front of the Triceratops, it was done.
it's like a turtle. Like, how do
Well,
you?
no, the back side of it was just like a cow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it.
So once you get into that loin, man, and you sear that thing perfectly, your little nice pink right in the middle, get some au poivre sauce over the top of it, and you're good to go.
I love it. All right, Big John, I gotta know. Now I have to know.
Yep.
Well, my number 3 is pterodactyl.
There we go.
All right.
The-
Mind you, I'm going off of, like, I had to go back to,
Childhood.
I had to go back to childhood. I had to go back to what was,
So the Cretaceous scourge of the skies.
right. Had to, definitely a pterodactyl.
I'll tell you what, it's always scary because I have this feeling that they're razor claw sharp. Like, imagine that flying around you, just like.
Right.
Oh, they can pick you up, take you off, feed you to their children. Like
And
in every show that had pterodactyls in it.
And as a kid, before we learned how fucked up the English language actually is,
PT.
P, pterodactyl starts with a P.
Yeah.
What? Right. So,
You're pterodactyls.
pterodactyl. Right. My number 2 is a Tyrannosaurus, not a Tyrannosaurus Rex, not a T-Rex, just a Tyrannosaurus.
Not the king.
The unrex one.
What's the difference? I don't know this.
Okay, so the pauper one,
Right.
the surf.
The serf.
The
Right.
peasant.
The peasant one.
The peasant Tyrannosaurus.
Exactly. And then my number one.
But David asked, what's the difference between that and the Rex?
Yeah.
What is the difference? It's size, isn't it? It's size and size and
It's not about size, how you use it.
Spikes and there's something different about it. It was always Tyrannosaurus. I'm going back to kid. I'm trying to there was a reason it was Tyrannosaurus and not a T-Rex, right?
Did it have longer arms?
What, an inch longer, maybe? Just, an inch longer. We'll have to find that. Jimmy, get on that. Find out what the difference between the two is. Anyway, and my number one, unless David, you're looking it up, I'll wait until you look it up and you can.
No. I was starting to, but there's really Tyrannosaurus might just be the grouping of all the Tyrannosaurs.
Because Tyrannosaurus in Latin means, or Rex means king.
Right, and so Thunder Lizard.
It's bigger. It's the.
I don't know what Tyrannosaurus is.
A bunch of theropods. It's because I know Albertosaurus is part of that group.
Tyrant lizard means Tyrannosaurus. Tyrant lizard.
So it's not the king; it's a peasant.
Right? Okay, so like peasants. Okay, cool.
Peasants, right?
Okay, so it's the same thing. It just doesn't have the crown.
It doesn't have the crown, right? There you go. Yeah, it doesn't have the crown.
Got it.
The Rex has the crown. The regular Tyrannosaurus does not. And my number one.
look at Gene's comment first.
Oh, geez. Gene says, "Cheers! What conversation did I just join?"
You thought this was a beer podcast, did you, Gene?
We're talking about bullying and dinosaurs.
And bullying, pinball bullying, and dinosaurs. Exactly. And my number one, and I'm going to get specific with my number one. Like very specific with my number one.
Like it has a name?
Yeah. Like I remember I went back to my childhood, right? Dino.
That's my Dino impression.
Now Dino was a brontosaurus, right?
A baby brontosaurus.
A baby brontosaurus.
That never.
A purple baby brontosaurus.
Like 1.5 Danny DeVito's.
1.5 Danny DeVito's. Very small. So.
Damn.
He was just taller than Fred. So yeah, like 1.5 Danny DeVito's.
No. If he was taller than Fred, then we're talking probably about maybe 8 Danny DeVito's.
I don't think we don't know how.
Like you see Todd Goodman, like they were shorter back then.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. He was only maybe 2.5.
I'm thinking. Oh, you're right. I'm thinking John Goodman because John Goodman is easily at 6 Danny DeVito's.
Right.
And change.
Exactly. And I'm going, and I mean, think about Pebbles when she was a baby sitting. She was probably only about 3 Dinos. So yeah, 2, 1.5, 2.
3 of her was a Dino. You mean?
Yeah. So like 1.5 of her is 1 Danny DeVito.
Damn.
Yeah, that's probably about right.
Is that metric or imperial?
It's imperial. It's imperial.
We go imperial DeVito's here.
Imperial. We got Chuck Aaron's 3. Here we go. We'll bring them up. His number 3 is T-Rex from Jurassic Park. Not. I was going to say from Jurassic Park 2. No, it's from Jurassic Park 2. The dinosaur from the Flintstones that Fred slid down.
Oh, that was the crane dinosaur.
Not Dino, the one he worked on.
That could have been Dino's dad. Who knows?
That could have been Dino's dad. It's very good. Dino. Yeah, he may have adopted Dino as a pet from
Dino
his
Rex
co-worker. Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And then 3, and you know what? Of course.
Well done.
Barney, the purple dinosaur.
Well, Chuck, we love you.
You love E. We're when this
we're
industry,
craft beer family.
This is the craft beer industry.
There
we go.
Oh, this just
anyway, sorry, that went down a really weird, but so anyway, okay. So good list. That's for sure. But in any event, Gene, sorry about that. If you want to write in your top 3 dinosaurs, whether they're proper or not, it's up to you.
They're all proper.
Well, if you want to go Dino or Barney or anything like that, or if you want to,
Gene, you can just mention the ones that are on your PJs.
You could do that too. If you look down at your pants, write what you see. There you go. Anyway, Cool. All right. Yeah. What's on the horizon for Kiitos? Beer wise, events wise this year? What's going on?
Yeah. So Kiitos has not brought an award in any event since 2018. That Coffee Cream Ale I told you guys about.
Yeah.
And I'm not a medal hunter. I don't really care about titles or awards.
Good liquid. Who cares what the accolades are?
I would like to at least get some type of acknowledgement for me and my team. I've been trying to develop this team. I call it a family. So I've tried to coin the term here in Utah, family. So we're friends and family, a family.
You said that in the last show. You did.
Yeah. So the Kiitos family, I'm really trying to like, hey, we're almost there. Like, brewers usually get like the sex appeal, like head brewers and brewers. They're the sex, you know. But to me, it's like, get out of here. Like, I think, like I just came across a couple weeks ago here at Kiitos. We're having an issue with our production, our packaging side. So much so that I found out that I have pallets of my beer, of our beer, that's oxidized. Why? Just because of poor packaging. Not because someone
too much oxygen in it.
Yeah, they didn't not do their job, but just didn't. We're not paying attention. We're so trying to play catch up that we're not actually looking at the fine tuned details. And because of that, I just want to make good beer. I just want to be known. At the end of the day, I took the Kiitos job not to make a name for myself or change the brewing guidelines or to bring all the medals in Utah and be the best brewer of all time. No, I took Kiitos knowing that I'm going to leave Kiitos better than I found it. And whether that means creating better SOPs or better practices in brewing or fermentation, you know. And so I'm just trying to teach these guys, gals too, this team of like, hey, the beer tenders who are pouring the beer are just as important as the beer makers who are actually brewing the beer. Like I'm sick of these titles. I'm sick of like, it's like the general's over the captain and the captain's over the, shut the hell up. We're all a team. And if anyone fucks up on that team, the whole product, it doesn't matter what you did.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to make good beer. And that's what my goal is at Kiitos. But I really want to bring back like hey, when you guys show up to Kiitos, you know for a fact you can find some good beer there. That's what I want to do.
Awesome.
Well, and the thing is, you there enhancing the beer is only going to be great because John knows full well I do not leave a brewery with a shirt unless I enjoyed the liquid.
Oh, thank you. Wait, I guess you're going to leave like a...
No. You take no credit for this. You weren't there when I bought this.
No,
you can't take any credit. When I come back,
swag, stickers, tattoos, like.
And I think if you look,
wait, I got the Kiitos tattoo on my forehead. Hold on now.
If you look carefully somewhere in your brewery, you should be able to find my logo. I think near the exactly it looks just like that.
I think I know exactly what that is actually.
My logo is pasted to on the wall somewhere in that brewery.
It's on a wall right behind the bar. Yeah.
Did you put one of these up too or no?
No, I didn't have any of yours at the time.
Okay.
So if you're sitting at the bar all the way to the right and you look behind you, you'll see the
white
beer
wall.
Samurai.
Yep. Oh yeah, I've seen that. I knew I recognized it. I got to take a picture and send it to you.
There it is. Yep, that was that's the first place that I desecrated a brewery in Utah.
I love it. But the thing about going back to your question, John, is I want to make sure that I'm trying to adhere to what Utah beer is about. Utah beer is so beautiful. It's about that community. We have one of the best, probably if not, I'll shout it out. We have the best community. We all pick each other up. When I need help, I'm not afraid to ask 30 brewers and be like, hey, what the hell is this? And it could be as simple as like, oh, well, you need to check this. Cool, great. But at the moment, I didn't know. But who has great, where can I get some Dexter malt or where can I get some flake corn? And anyone in my community, which like it's a 5-mile radius, we all have it, And so,
that's in a lot of places. I mean, it's in Jersey for the most part. It's in Jersey too. And when I say for the most part, I mean, it's
we have a few outliers,
but for the most part, it's in a lot of places. And that's one of the things that I love about this industry. It's one big family. Like we all want to see everybody else succeed.
Exactly.
Is there competition? Yeah, there's competition in the fact that you want your specific business to do good. Yeah. Not to you don't want to see somebody else do good to your detriment, but you also are community
you don't wanna
minded,
hurt-
and
you don't
you
want to
don't
hurt
want to
them
hurt anybody else either, right? So you want to work with everybody. It's a
Raising
big family.
tides raises all ships, right? Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
rising tides, yeah.
Rising
And
Yeah.
tide, yeah.
Hey, that's interesting considering you named a beer off of that phrase, didn't you, John?
That's true. It's true.
It's
This
the
one,
it's other side there, the yellow one.
this one right here. It's well off of the term rising tide. This is frising tide, and it's frising because it's our
Hefeweizen.
it's our hef. I was going to say it's our core flagship Hefeweizen, and as far as I'm concerned, and Matt's concerned, the best hef in the world is made by Weinstefaner in Germany, which is in Freising, Germany. So Freising.
You know what? Our little our glass next to the lager room is blocking my what you call my Weinstefaner, well, Carrie's Weinstefaner boot back there.
Oh, the boot back there. Yeah.
Yeah, she's got the boot.
Yeah.
We will be in Freising in April, as a matter of fact.
wow.
And I don't want him to take. I don't want him to take a can of our Freising Tide over with him. But what I do want him to do is take a label with him and show them. So
Give it to them and
give it to them and have them put it up or whatever, and or just look at it, smile when he leaves, throw it out. That's fine, whatever.
Yeah. I can see that as a beer maker going to like one of your idols and be like, I think I make the best this. Here's my best rendition. They'd be like,
Yeah.
good for you.
Good for you. Yes.
Yes.
I know. I don't. Yeah. Neither me nor Matt profess to.
Yeah.
Now, we think it's pretty solid, but it's not Weinstefaner. So
I remember watching a show where they gave a French vintner an Australian Chardonnay. He took a sip of it, walked outside of his winery, and then poured it out. He would not desecrate the floor of his own winery with the Australian Chardonnay. It's like,
wow.
Which I think is, and no offense to your beer, but I think if you gave anybody in Weinstefaner a Heffa from anywhere else other than that, you could see them doing the same thing.
Right. Yeah, I don't want him to take a can of ours over. I just want him to take a label to show them. That's it. One label, show them. That's it.
And it's going to be on a Tuesday, so I'm going to try to beg them to come on the show that night.
That would be awesome. The taproom manager, I don't care. Somebody, But then again, we'll have to do the show earlier because you're going to be what 6 hours?
Six. I'll be 6 hours ahead of you.
So it'll be.
The show may be at
30
noon.
p.m. It'll be midnight. Yeah, it'll be 12:30. We'll start for you. Yeah. So no. We'll figure something out. But
David, I am so excited that you are now the head brewer of Kiitos.
yeah, this is awesome.
Considering that is the first brewery I landed in Utah.
You landed in?
Well, we landed, we landed.
Jumped out of the plane and landed in Kiitos. There.
I parachuted right into it. So that hole in the ceiling that you saw, that's
me.
you.
Thanks to no AC.
Wow. So we landed. We got our luggage, got the rental, and then beeline to Kiitos.
Cool.
Right there. Had some great liquid there, and then
Did you go to TF? Did you go to TF?
We came to TF on the way back from doing the Big Five across the bottom of Utah, and we're talking about the national.
So this was before you left. You hit. Yeah,
it was the first brewery in Salt Lake, and then we head south. We went right out of Salt Lake. Made a beeline for the American Forks In-N-Out Burger. Right after that, I love In-N-Out Burger. Sorry,
that's fine.
And then, but then we hit TF Fisher.
David, to each his own.
TF Fisher.
Was it Bewilder? Probably.
No, Saltfire.
Saltfire.
Those were the three we hit when we came back into Salt Lake.
Awesome.
We've had.
What's around the corner from Saltfire?
Saltfire. Down the street is Level Crossing. There's Grid City. There's a bunch of distilleries.
There's one right around the corner from that we hit. I can't remember the name of it.
Wasatch Squatters Tap Room.
Nope.
Bro, you're talking about the pro in Utah. Come on.
Yeah, no, I can't remember this.
We've had Saltfire on the show too. So.
Yeah, we had Jay on the show.
Jay's one of the greatest individuals you'll ever meet. She's a sweetheart. I love that girl. I have her and I fight over earrings because she has these awesome like Denver earrings, and I got not gauges, but like they're thicker hop earrings.
Right.
When I find better hop earrings, I'm gonna go straight to her and be like, "Look."
It was Shades is right around the corner.
Oh, okay, and it's across the street and down the across the street.
Yep.
So wait, Shades. That's the name of a brewery.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's called Shades
So-
of Pale, and they changed it to Shades. Oh, they're shady as fuck.
Samurai. I'm going to put it on you. You have to orchestrate a collab between
Between
Shades
them and Shades On.
and Shades On in Rhode
Yeah.
Island.
I talked to them about that while I was there, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, Shades won a lot of medals during the during the pandemic. They kicked ass for the Kvike series of flavored fruited sours. So at the time that my friend Marcio was over there, and he took like probably 13 medals just making like pina colada beer and kiwi strawberry beer.
They do some stuff.
You know what?
I'll tell you what.
You know what?
My one of my scariest moments ever in Salt Lake City.
Hold that thought.
When I was slightly uncomfortable, was walking to the bathroom at Shades.
Yeah,
that's terrifying.
Shady. They put shade. It's shady. Everything's shady.
It's shady.
It's shady. The you mentioned Kvike. That's one competition I always said, tongue in cheek, wink, wink. I said it's got to be a Kvike competition. Who can make a beer and can it the fastest?
The fastest.
Right?
The fastest beer I ever made was in 7 days. My boss and I, when we started from mash in to on draft, was less than 7 days. It was probably like 6 days and 22 hours. Like it was less than 7 days. We put a beer on tap, and I was just. Wow. I felt like I should just cut myself. I don't know.
I've talked. I won't say who. I won't say what brewery. All right, but I've had a specific conversation with one of the owners, and brewer, and he did tell me that they have, and not often, but they have.
Don't say lager. Don't say
no, not a lager. No, they do. Some people are using Kvike yeast for lagers.
No, please make them stop. Yeah. Make them stop.
But whatchamacallit? They brewed a beer early on a Monday morning and had it on tap and in cans available for sale when they opened on Saturday.
In cans. Wow. That's a step. Wow.
So it's packaged and kegged and available on Saturday for open.
So is it a great innovation or is it cheating?
Okay, listen. Here's my argument for the Kvike yeast, okay? I love my bidet. Now, am I cheating?
Hold on, I gotta put this. This is an open. I gotta write this time down.
I love my bidet. So we have these little snippets of conversation.
It's not cheating. It's just being more morally and authentically clean. So, cheating? No. Is it right? 100%. Is the Kvike wrong? Kvike can.
There's nothing wrong about a bidet.
Well, I'm just saying, is it cheating though? Because like back in the day, it's like let's play a guessing game. like I'm done playing games. So like
question for you: how do blind people know they're done wiping?
A smell test. It's easy.
Okay, you got me there.
All right.
Well, how would you do it, dude? Like,
that's the only thing you think of.
Yeah. So in any event, when he told me that, I was like, "What?" I mean, they're fermented at like almost 100 degrees. The yeast is ripping through it. I mean, look. In all fairness, some beers actually do take a short amount of time to ferment. Like our hef is an 8-day beer.
And what yeast are you using?
No. Just regular hef. The strand of hef yeast we use tears through it in 2 to 3 days.
So if you told that to the Weinsifine family,
no, of course not. Of course,
we make this beer in 8 days. They look at me like,
we don't package and can it. I mean, it's resting for longer than that. But I mean, if we had somebody held a gun to our head and said, "Get this beer out in a week," we could.
Oh,
fair
enough.
It's sitting on the yeast a lot longer than that, but it's done. It's essentially done in 8 days.
Yeah.
But it's resting for a while after that.
Beer is fascinating, and the more you can take care of it, I truly feel like the more you can baby a beer, the better it is. And that's my opinion. I don't think that's like not the golden rule, but for me, it's like just take care of it, like a child.
So John, I looked up because I would figure that the Weinsifan people would say, "What the fuck?" So I looked up what it would be in German. We're both Mets fans, John and I. It's was zum Tuffel.
Lost some Tuffle.
Tuffel.
Yeah.
Tim Tuffle was it?
Tim Tuffle was a Met, and and a
So-
player and coach.
Yeah. So he was Tim Fuck.
He was Tim Fuck. Yeah.
Oh no, there's only one F in it. There's only one F in it. Never
There's
mind.
only one F in Tuffle too.
Oh, so it was Vostum.
Yeah.
Vostum Tuffle.
Teufel. That's Tim Tuffle. Teufel. Yeah, exactly.
I forget that you East Coast individuals have way more of a sports heritage than anyone on the West Coast.
Well, because you've got one team.
The
Well,
Jazz. When have we been good? When we poisoned Michael Jordan? Good for us.
Last time they were good was when you had.
They've
that
been good
stellar
last few years. They've been relevant.
When we had Donovan Mitchell, we had a shot maybe, and Gobert. And that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Ever
What
since-
about the mailman? I mean,
Ever since the mailman, that's my point.
Yeah,
Ever since the mailman.
Yeah, when we poisoned Jordan. That's
Right.
that's when we had
That's it.
Sloan. Jerry Sloan. Let's go.
There is a statue to Malone in Stockton right outside the stadium.
Yeah, and they both probably hate it.
it's not. Yeah, it's really not flattering. But I did get to show my son that statue and go, this is two teammates that you need to know about because these two guys played so damn well they elevated a shit team.
Yeah.
Truly did.
Yep.
Truly, and that's all we've been known for. That and Mormons. I'm like, well, come on. And number 3, beer.
and silly alcohol laws
Yeah. So beer. Number 3, beer.
and skiing.
Fuck. Okay. 4, beer. Yay! Yeah.
And national parks, beer 5.
There you go. I got to say,
Let's face it. You got Zion, you got Bryce, you got Arches.
Yeah, they're gorgeous. Canyonlands, all
Oh,
of it.
Canyonlands! I just adored Canyonlands. Actually, my profile picture at work is a picture of me in Canyonlands.
Well,
And then everyone always
the
forgets.
AI generated for all I know nowadays.
And then everyone forgets Capitol Reef. So there's the 5 across the bottom.
I think everyone forgets about Capitol Reef because Clinton's the one that promoted that one. I think that's what it is.
Now, Capitol Reef, you have to actually get off the road and hike in at least 18 miles to appreciate Capitol Reef.
Yeah, that's effort, not in this country.
Not the wrong country.
you
Wrong
got to
country.
exert yourself there.
Yeah, we do Kavaikis in this country. What the fuck?
We use Scandinavian yeast in America. What are you talking about?
What was it? Oh, God, I'm trying to remember the exact phrasing of it, but yeah, the national park for you is over there.
The National Park View is over there. Here's 75 cents.
Your quality of
That's it. Your quality of national park.
Quality National Park's over there.
that's go your quality of beers over there.
There you go.
There you
Oh,
go.
perfect.
And that would probably be Bryce because Bryce is all because you can hike through Bryce. There's good hikes through Bryce, but maybe
Utah's gorgeous. Tell you what, at the end of the day, Utah, that Southern Utah is one of the best in the country. I've traveled the country. I love this country. I think Wyoming's beautiful.
God, it is.
But that Red Rock, for some reason, the desert look but when it's snow capped, that beats Arizona and New Mexico.
I gotta get out there. I really do. I mean,
I
I've seen Red Rock before at Red Rocks, and in
I was at Bryce when there was
west
when
of
there was-
was it Morrison, Colorado.
I was at Bryce when there was snow on the Hoodoos.
See, that's just you can't
It's hard to-
naturally you can't beat that. And
No, it's
just hard
amazing.
to do, yeah.
It's amazing. Southern Utah for the national parks, Northern Utah for the breweries.
Absolutely. Amen. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, yeah, it's good time of the show, I think.
Yeah.
Hour and 40
Oh,
minutes.
God. David, again, thank you so much for jumping on at last
Yes,
moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's always a blast. You bring your energy level fatigues me.
Well, I shaved for this, so
So did I.
He listens to you talk. David, he listens to you talk and he gets winded. There you go. That's what he's trying to say, basically.
well, stop using Kavaikis, play more pinball. Let's go.
Exactly.
And just make sure you're on the machine that's at your level.
God,
Any parting shots? Any events coming up at the brewery? Or anything you're doing
Every Tuesday night.
every Tuesday night is pinball night.
Pinball night. Just make sure of the game you're playing and who's going to play
For
it.
the love of God. Make sure. Yeah.
Sure.
But no,
That-
Kiitos is a great place. You know,
Make sure you're playing your quality of pinball.
you know, it's a one-off story. Kiitos, you know, safe haven. It's a good spot. Next thing we're coming up to is we have a lot of Utah Brewers Guild stuff coming up. So we have a lot of community stuff coming here soon.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Good. Cool. Awesome. And anything with the podcast?
Podcast, like I said, I have more brewers, just us brewers getting together and talking. So real quick, we have some of our friends that have like you guys have like cellars or like fridges of like just beer that you've been given.
No, us? No.
So we call them
I'm looking at mine.
yeah. So we bring the fridge on and like, hey, it's like, hey, Dave's fridge. We're just gonna take like 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 beers, and we're just gonna break down something. There's gonna be like 6 of us, 8 of us. We're just gonna break them down and like have a good time.
Oof,
And it
I've
helps-
got some good shit in there right now too.
See, but you say that, and then you don't open it because you're waiting for a good time. So this forces us to have a good time, right?
What is it? There's a day coming up. It's unfortunately, John, it's not on a Tuesday. But where is it? It's on February 24th. And this is
I'm busy
this
that
is, This is this is a day for
There's a reason I'm
those-
busy that day.
I'm sure there is.
It's Jess's birthday.
Oh, you got to do it, Jess.
I'm busy that day.
Okay, but February 24th is a day for those of us who have like. There's a beer that's just too good to drink. That you're just holding on to because it's just so good. It's just so good. You want to open it for the right moment. February 24th is called Open That Bottle Day.
See, I would change the name of that.
For what? Drink your fucking beer.
Drink your fucking beer.
Thank you, Gene. That's what
Joe.
That's Joe. That's right, Joe Graditz.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm doing in Utah. Is like we all have these fridges. Every single one of us has these like cellars or fridges. Like, hey, I'm waiting for a time. Well, let's get with some of your dearest friends in the industry, like-minded individuals who have this. And so far this year, I've done 3, and it's been a hoot and a holler. And
Gotta love that.
a great collaboration as beer makers. It's been and distillers too. They bring in their special bottles. Like, hey, I've been sitting on this for God, who knows how, for why, I don't know, but like I'm waiting for a moment, and people who understand it, here it is. And it's like in those moments, and some beers have been home runs and just fantastic. Other beers have been like, oh God, like holy shit, this is not aged well. But then we break it down. It's
Right.
really cool.
We had someone. There's a big beer festival in Florida every year called Hunapoo, and it's an invitation only. So it's gotten a lot bigger, but it used to be kind of small. So it was just some of the greatest breweries in the country that were invited by Cigar City,
Okay.
and
Hunapoo's done, by the way.
they're gone.
Oh, shit.
That's sad. That's sad.
Mhm.
But the first one I went to was still in their parking lot. It was still small enough that it was in their parking lot. And they had a VIP room. The difference between this VIP room and any other VIP room, it wasn't for people who bought a VIP ticket. This was for the breweries. If you were there working and you had the tag that you were representing a brewery, you were allowed in there.
Damn.
And all the beer in this was supplied by all the breweries that were invited.
I take that back. I got bad information.
Okay. So you've got all.
I take that back. It's still going.
Okay.
I was
Good to
actually
hear.
told, the reason I said that, it's literally less than a week ago, I was told Hunapoo was done
Someone lied to you.
by somebody that I didn't have any reason not to doubt or to doubt.
You need to Rochambeau that person. But then, so you're looking at like breweries that were invitation only by Cigar City, one of the best known breweries in the country, who were inviting some of the best breweries in the country to this, and they all had to supply a beer for the VIP room, which is for all the other breweries. So this is all flex. This is a room full of nothing but whales.
Damn.
And going through there with your taster, I actually walked out of there with a, and this is when it wasn't as readily available as it's become on the East Coast. I walked out of there because I was wearing cargo shorts. Each of the pockets on my legs had a heady topper in them as I left there, because they were just handing out cans of heady top, which is insane. But some of the beers that I had there, I remember one. It may not have been the best beer, but it was the best damn name of a beer I had ever heard of. And I've completely forgotten it.
Right.
Nope, it is done.
Okay. Okay. So hold off on the Rochambeau. That would be embarrassing if you
Yeah, a
were
little
the
bit,
poor
right.
guy.
Even that moment with some of your dearest friends in the community or like-minded individuals is, I don't know, it invokes
They want to.
that recreativity. Like, fuck yeah, this is so cool. Like, I don't need an event to do that. Let's just do it on a fucking Saturday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Just do it. Just do it.
Oh, that's what it was. It rubs the lotion on its skin, or it gets the goes again.
It's the good. Oh my god.
That's a good one.
That's a good name.
Wow. I like when you do like the World Beer Cup or GABF when you're waiting for the awards. I just go for the names. Hopefully they're good ones.
Yeah.
Like, when I win for one, it's gonna be beer flavored beer.
Beer flavored beer.
There you go. Beer flavored beer.
That's got to be a category. We got to talk to the Brewers Association and talk to them about adding that category in. You going to CBC this year?
I'm debating. So
Right, Vegas, easy.
It's a huge argument. Like, but I feel like because it's in Vegas, someone's going to die.
He's not wrong.
So I don't want to be a part of that CBC. I don't know. I don't want to be there. Like,
Oh, I thought you were going to say you don't want to be part of that crime.
I mean, also, yes, same vein. I also
Okay.
don't want to be part of that crime.
No,
of
course.
No, but for me, it's like, Vegas is, man, that was my 20s, man. Like, I don't know.
And I'm not a fan of the place.
It's so close, but like, I'd rather go anywhere else.
I would too. And I got to be honest with you, though, I'm intrigued. We're going. I'm intrigued because I've actually never.
When he says we, he's talking about his brewery. He's not talking about me.
No, not Dave and I. Me, Matt. We're going. Chris. We're
But
but
you'd have to pay me more than 75 cents to go to
we're
Vegas.
70. Yeah.
Your quality,
Your quality of casino is over there.
the Circus. Over
Circus.
there.
You're well off the.
Yeah, Fremont Street. Go over there. You're good over there.
But maybe
It is Fremont.
I'll let you guys know, and we can meet up. I would love
Absolutely. Yeah, let me know. Definitely.
that. Absolutely.
But all right, cool. Again, I'm echoing Dave's words. Thank you for coming on. Thank you.
So much.
Last minute, it was an awesome show. It always is. We'll chat. You'll come on again. We got to get you some beer. But we'll definitely some more beer. And then we'll get you on again. And then whenever you want to do a StreamYard thing or any of this stuff or whatever
Or if we're out there and you want to,
or if we come out there,
Please, I'll host it.
absolutely, yeah, definitely. So we'll figure something out, but definitely. But once again, thank you for coming on.
You're welcome, guys. Thank you.
We will stay on. We'll talk to you after we sign off.
we need to know what a soaking is.
Yeah, we've got to figure out what the soaking is. We're going to figure that out.
Hey, sounds good.
Exactly. So on that note, we'll wrap the show for today. We want to thank everybody for watching. And for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.loggerroom.com. That's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Logger Room. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Twitch every Tuesday night around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on our audio host, Spreaker, as well as iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey, Audible, Google Podcasts for now, Amazon Music Podcasts, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, Castbox, Deezer, Podchaser, Listen. That's pretty much anywhere you find audio podcast, you'll find the Logger Room Guys Craft Beer Podcast. I said about Google because Google Podcast is going away. Anyway, if you haven't, and if you haven't done so already,
Wait a second, is it going away like Hunapoo's going away?
Well, yeah, exactly. I gotta find out. It might go away, it might not come back. Leave. We got it. It's not
Just checking.
exactly. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you'll never miss a show. Anyway, again, thanks for following along with us. I can speak. And have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly. Dave, once again, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. And we'll talk to you soon, folks. Take care. Cheers.
Salud.
Cheers.